I want to share a dream I had. This was on May 20th, 2020. And I would say it's been coming to pass, but it just kind of shows that it's going to get more intense, and we have to be ready to endure what's coming. And just remember that the Lord is going to use his church in this final hour to be a witness to the world. As things get darker, our light is going to shine brighter. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen, and we're going to be a walking, living, breathing testimony to the world of the goodness of Jesus, the power and the love of Jesus Christ, even if it means losing our lives. It's going to get more and more intense going forward. We can see what's happening in the world. This is the church's finest hour. So I have this baby and in the dream, and it's not my baby. It's not even my grandchild, but for some reason I'm responsible for this baby. And the baby is very heavy birth weight, like it's a newborn, but it's very heavy, chunky, but it's a newborn. Like it seemed like it was heavier than it should be, weight-wise, flesh-wise, but it had a breathing problem, okay? It was taking very labored breaths. So I realized I needed to get it medical attention. So I knew I had to take it to the midwife. So I called an Uber, and it was driving me to the midwife. And as we're driving there, I can already see that there's backups and there's long lines everywhere in the town as I'm driving, okay? So when I get there, I asked the Uber to wait for me, because for some reason, when I saw the backups and the long lines as we were driving there, I knew that it would be hard for me to get another Uber then to pick me up. That's why I was asking the Uber to wait, to double park and just wait for me. So I run in, and where I'm at is just basically like a storefront. It's just like one room, like as if you're walking in a storefront, and it's got the glass door, and then like a big picture window, so you can see everything outside. And then it's right there. So the midwife, when I arrive, she's got a pregnant woman on the exam table, and that woman is in labor, active labor, and she's, having her contractions, and the midwife is telling her to push and everything. She's ready to give birth. So when I walk in with the baby, the midwife tells the lady on the table, stop pushing, so she can, because there's no one else there to help. So she had the lady on the table stop mid-contraction, mid-push, she stops. Now she looks at the baby, I give her the baby, and she looks at me and she's like, oh, I can't help this baby. This baby's too far gone. She goes, this is an emergency. We have to call 911. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I say to her, are you going to call? Are you going to call 911? And I keep saying that, and I keep saying it louder and louder, and it's more urgent and urgent. And as I'm saying that, she's not answering me, so I keep saying it. Are you going to call 911? Are you going to call 911? And she's not answering me because she too is pregnant. Now I realize she's pregnant. So now I see her stomach. She grabs her stomach, and now she's in labor, okay? She's ready to give birth right there at that moment. And she's like, oh, and she's making noises, and you can tell she's in pain. She's like, oh, and now she goes unconscious, okay? Her eyes close. She's completely unconscious and unresponsive. She's not answering. She's completely out of it now. Something went wrong there. So I have her unconscious, pregnant, in labor. I have the lady on the exam table, mid-push, in labor. And then I have this baby who's dying and not breathing. I'm like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? And as all of this stuff just hits me, I hear this huge, loud thunder and lightning, and it's just it crashes on the building, and the power goes out. So like this whole situation is climaxing, and it's at a climax, and the power goes out, okay? So now I'm like, oh no, and then I look out the window and the door, and I can see gridlock. Like now it's nighttime, and all I can see is headlights, okay? No power, no lights, out the window. There's sheets of rain, just like you can barely see the cars because the rain is it's creating a wall of water. It's so intense, and I can hear the lightning and the thunder. Now the power's out, not just me, but it's everywhere. Everywhere there's no power, and I can see the car in complete gridlock, horns, people are honking. I can hear sirens in the background, and I'm thinking, how am I going to get this baby help? And I know that, okay, I could go and jump in this Uber, and the Uber can take me to the hospital, but I'm not going to even get out of where we're at. I knew that even the Uber wouldn't be able to get me anywhere because of the gridlock, and everything was blocked now. And then I thought, what about 911, like an ambulance? And I thought, well, there's so many emergencies right now that even if I wanted to, that there would be such a long line of emergencies that I could never get an ambulance to us, and this baby's going to die by then. And then the other thought is, even if I could get an ambulance, then this is all running through my mind really fast. Even if I could get an ambulance, then it would never make it to where we're at because of the gridlock traffic. And I just realized that no one is coming for help. I am completely on my own, and this baby is not going to make it. And kind of like a last-ditch effort, I realized that for some reason, if I can get in my laptop, then there's an answer, like I can reach someone or find the right number to call or something. And so across the room is my friend Angel with my laptop. And so I call to her, like I'm yelling all of this across the room. She's got the laptop, I got the password. So I'm yelling to her the password to log into the laptop to get the information. And I'm saying I'm telling her the password. I'm yelling capital A, capital U, capital D, capital I, capital O, explanation point 22. And I say it again, capital A, U, D, I, O, explanation point 22. Audio. And I'm waking up from the dream, yelling audio, A-U-D-I-O, all caps, explanation point 22. And I'm crying, like I just burst into tears because it was so intense. And that audio, I know what it means. Like I know God is saying, like right as I'm waking up, I'm saying audio with all caps, explanation point 22. He's saying, turn up the audio, explanation point, tell everyone, turn up the volume. And it was just so intense and so real. And it was just such a warning, like, things are coming, and much of the church is not prepared. I don't even know if I'm prepared, but I know that we're not going to escape this, okay? That is the lesson here, that there is not going to be an early escape. We are going to experience these things. They're going to come quick, they're going to come hard, they're going to come fast, and they're going to intensify as these events unfold. Before we can even recover from one event, there's going to be another event. And none of us are promised to survive. Like, I don't want to say that to scare anyone, but the reality of that hit me that, even if we see persecution and martyrdom, we may not even survive the events that lead up to that point in the truth. So we need to be right with God, okay? First and foremost, to be right with God and to be a walking, living, breathing testimony and witness to others, and share the gospel. And whatever you're waiting to do, don't wait. Do it now, as if it's your last day. There's an urgency here. And Jesus is coming, but we're going to see some things first. So we got to be ready. God bless you, and I love you.